It's the weekend. It's Mailbag. I am joined this week by Dave, and in a change to the scheduled um, appearances, we've got Pete instead of Dan. Dan is setting up his own deli business down in Suffolk, so he's like really busy with that.
You best
Pushing
send us a
more.
few butties up there, mate, to
Oh
tell you
God,
that.
yeah, he's got to be selling some fine wares in that deli. It will definitely be worth the trip down there. He's a man of very fine taste, is Dan.
Yeah, he is.
So it's going to be absolutely spot on. But yeah,
Is he
mushing more
making
with
them
that.
himself, though, Les? Is he going to be making them himself?
I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work. I've just seen some of the ale that he's selling.
Yeah, you just know it's top quality anyway with him, don't
Oh
you?
God, yeah, it's going
Regardless
to
of who
be
he's got sorted.
it's going to be outstanding.
Yeah,
How is everyone today? I'm exhausted. So we're recording this. If you're listening to it
fucking hell.
after Friday, we're recording this on the 10 point deduction Friday day. So I'm I'm worn out by it.
Get it on the
Deduction day.
timeline. Get it on the Goodison timeline.
100%.
Do you know what it is? It does make me interested. It makes me smile about it now because we're nearly finished with all this, aren't we? And that's not to say that Mailbag's going to be affected whatsoever by the news that we've received today, the unprecedented news that we've seen at Everton today. But the amount of work I've done today, so I'm on my current shift on 5 Live right now to get Les on, which he's been on, which we'll put out later on the podcast. We had to do the big podcast as well. Pete's been around town. He's gone. He's gone down to the ground to go on with Sky News, which is on later tonight at 7 o'clock. We've just been all over rightly so, been all over the place as regular. I wouldn't say voices of Everton, but we do appreciate how many listeners we have here on the Blue Room. So we have
I think
been about.
we generally give a fairly balanced view, don't we? We're not headbangers.
You nearly went on 5 Live saying "gang of twats."
No, tell you what, man,
Cut up, cunts.
she threw me a proper curveball because she got the numbers wrong.
Yeah, they spelled my name
Claire
wrong
did at the start, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
They
then
spelled
Julia
my name wrong.
on it. So I was like, "Was this
Yeah.
right?"
Peter was ped for a while as well.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that.
Happens a lot that, you'd be surprised. Like, he's a good lad, Ped, but I know
You
the
are the
Howard's
OG
Way.
Peter Mac.
Yeah, but the Howard's Way film actually has, I think it has my name on it and not McPartland. It has McFarlane. I think it's like so Ped finally got his revenge today when he got credited with my quote on the BBC website.
Shows you the attention that the BBC gives. That shouldn't really be slating me, should I?
No, I'm sure no one.
Hope no one from the BBC listens to this or slags me off on social.
Garth Crooks does. Right,
Who?
then, let's kick off with the hot topic.
Who did you say?
Garth Crooks.
God,
He just
God,
hates everyone. Little
Right.
weirdo.
How prescient was the hot topic this week? What's been the biggest fix in football? It's not today. I didn't predict it. Anyone know what I was talking about?
The biggest fix in football. The biggest one before today was Kalina, surely.
That was said by Scorgy95 that Kalina anticipated what players would do before the ball was even kicked. Awful referee. And T22 said Champions League Villarreal game. So yeah, up there with that.
Yeah.
The story I was thinking about was actually the fact that the Saudi bid for the World Cup
Oh yeah.
was just like the biggest fix. And then on top of that, who could have seen this coming? Saudi state-owned giant to become FIFA's biggest paying sponsor. Who possibly could have seen that coming? So yeah, I mean,
what a coincidence!
Imagine. No wonder Australia just saw it and fucked it off.
Yeah,
yeah, not wasting money on that. So yeah,
No,
aside from this and potentially today, what do you reckon, Villarreal, Pete?
Yeah, Villarreal. Also, the very mention of Australia just reminds me of Kangaroo Court, which ironically is what we've had to endure over the past day.
It does feel like it, doesn't it? I mean, Matt Flusk has been throwing so much into the group because he's looking into it like in fine detail, and the whole thing's so sketchy. I did try to articulate that on Radio 5, but couldn't because I don't really know too much about it. And as soon as numbers are involved, my head goes.
Well, it doesn't help when you were getting the wrong numbers thrown at you as well.
No, it doesn't. And I did get shut down quite quickly when I said about the Premier League doesn't want its finances investigated.
Yeah, so that.
Like, that's the producer. No.
the one I was going to go for, and I don't believe was it. I can't have been for the one that was last year when England bid for it, and you had Prince William down there, and then when it was all
Beckham
voted
was
for.
there as well, wasn't he?
Sorry,
Beckham was there with him.
yeah, it was the latter years, wasn't it? And it looked like even you look at the betting odds and all that. England were odds on to get it, and he went in, and each of the I don't know the blokes who would like decide it, who were on the who were on the group to basically just vote for it. England, and he got 2 votes in the entire thing out of about 25 lads, and I can't remember who won it.
It was Qatar, wasn't it?
It was Qatar, yeah.
Actually, this one that's just gone, yeah.
Yeah, it was. It was Qatar one, yeah. So
because I'm pretty sure that was back in. That must have been back in I don't know.
2014, I think, because they did.
I was going to say that
in Russia and Qatar.
That's very right. Yeah, they did 2, didn't they? Yeah, they did 2. And I remember coming away from it, like Prince William was fuming. Beckham wouldn't even talk to anyone on the cameras, and like it just totally went to shit. And it was just people were adamant that it was going to England.
That was the thing about Jack. Was it Jack Warner? Was that his name?
That's it. That's great knowledge, that mate. It worked out. They were all given shitloads of money.
Yeah,
like you'd imagine from Saudi Arabia and Qatar.
It is good to see that Infantino is carrying on a long tradition of corrupt FIFA heads from João Havelange to Sepp Blatter.
Do you know what? I hate him more than Sepp because he has an arrogance when he walks around. At least Sepp Blatter just walked like an alpha who didn't have a fucking clue what was going on. But that Infantino, mate, he walks around, and didn't he say something really derogatory about women's football as well?
He said a few things where he's like, "Today I am gay. Today I am black." It's like, what are you on about, mate?
Just select him what he was every year.
Yeah, it was weird. He's an odd fella.
Yeah,
at least with Blatter, you knew he was obviously like a little bit nuts, but at least he did. He literally didn't even hide his corruption. He was just openly like,
God, yeah.
He was just dodgy, wasn't he? Do you know what I mean?
Didn't he come in on anti-corruption tickets as well?
Yeah, something like that, mate. Yeah.
Didn't he?
Bit like Man City. He probably owns Man City.
Yeah.
Probably owns Everton.
So that's for me, yeah. So everyone else who's listening to this is going to be screaming, there's Villarreal and Collina. The worst about Collina was he came out of retirement for 1 game. Did that and then retired again. That's the most blatant thing ever, that, isn't it?
I'll tell you what, though, go back a couple of months previous, and a massive fix was Liverpool getting into the competition as well. Let's not gloss over that one. The fact that the holders didn't go in at that point.
Yeah.
Purely because I think the holders should. I think the holders should defend the trophy, but that wasn't the rule. And then it just also, it usually went that the holders were good enough to qualify for it each year, because that's basically how it goes. And then they didn't. And then suddenly it's like, oh, we need to change the rules on this.
Well, he tried to put pressure on the Premier League at that point, didn't he?
Yeah.
Because he tried to say that because we were only, at that stage, we're only allowed 4 teams in it from any one organisation.
Yeah.
And the Premier League turned around and said that because the rules were stated in the Premier League before the season started, the rules specifically said that the top 4 would get the Champions League. And I think Everton basically turned around and said, well, you can tell us we can't go in it, but if you do, then we're suing you for whatever. Yeah. They probably haven't forgotten it. It's probably that's probably why we're here where we are today.
Oh yeah, they have played the long game there, haven't they?
It's a long game, isn't it?
The thing, interestingly though, Everton did a similar thing in the Fairs Cup. So I think Everton with the team that got the Intercity Fairs Cup changed from one team from one city. So the rules around that used to be, if you finished, I think that was the old UEFA Cup. So I think if you finished between 2nd and 4th, maybe you get in that. But if Liverpool finished 2nd and Everton finished 3rd, then Liverpool would get in it. Everton wouldn't. The team below them and the team below them would go in it. So you could only have one club from one city in the original Intercity Fairs Cup, it was called, which is the UEFA Cup. But I think in the 70s, Everton should have qualified, didn't because of that rule, kicked off and got it changed. Get that on the timeline.
And that's why they brought Collina out.
That's incredible knowledge, that, to be fair. You've done well with that.
It's my dad's 70s knowledge. My dad has passed on all his 70s knowledge of football.
Bet you were fuming it wasn't 80s.
I don't know. You can have the 70s stuff. Would have been like, no, we were good in the 80s. We would have been sound. Right, so we're doing Everton question. Or should we do a non-Everton question?
Non-Everton.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. I've got one from TWS. Bad misses. What's the worst miss you can think of? He's saying Cahill in the Carsey Derby or Holdsworth in that Wimbledon game spring to mind for him.
Do you know one that always sticks out for me? Abel Xavier on his debut. I think that was in a derby as well. I remember Nick Barmby went on a run. Nick Barmby, all right. Went on a run and he literally ran from like the halfway line and then cut inside. And he was just about to slot it, and Abel Xavier came storming in ahead of him and like had the whole goal sway mat and just blazed it over. And was that when Steve Staunton was in goal as well?
Was that the Campbell Derby?
I think so. And it was actually, I'm sure I've got a feeling that it was that Steve Staunton went in goal because
when Westerveld got sent off, didn't he?
Yeah. And Xavier had the whole goal sway mat and he blazed it over. And I've never I was always like, you absolute tit.
Cop-Ite's got a Cop-Ite
as well. Yeah. And before he signed for them.
I know.
Pair of Cop-Ites.
Yeah. I've got a better one. And I hope you've seen this. You should have seen it because it did become folklore. But do you remember Chris Iwelumo? Who played? You remember the name? Right. You need to, everybody listens to this. If you haven't seen it or remember this, he was playing for Scotland. I don't know who they were playing against. And just go on Google and put his name.
I'm just looking, it comes up straight away. Chris Iwelumo. Oh, I remember it, yeah.
You do remember this? And the commentary, there's a commentary from like, I think it was like a local radio. And the ball comes in. You can see it there, can't you? Right. So I think Matt might be able to put this on the YouTube version.
I'll tell you what, I'll link to it in YouTube.
Yeah. It is one of the worst. Like, and the commentaries from these two lads are just from some radio station there, and it goes in, and the cross goes in, and one of them, the pair of them just start screaming like, "Yes!" and scream. I think it was the World Cup qualifier or something. And they start screaming their heads, and then one of them just goes, "Has he missed it?" Like the pair of them had to guess because there was no celebrations or everything. And then you can hear in the background the replay, and the pair of them start going, "Oh no!" and they just didn't believe what was happening.
It was
undoubtedly the worst.
Yeah,
you watching it now?
Yeah, I've just watched it. It was genuinely hard to miss. I remember Canu when he was playing for West Brom, skied one basically on the line, and he scooped it over. The one that always sticks out for me, and I don't know how many people remember it, it always goes like it never gets talked about, with Barry Horn at Chelsea. So when we beat Chelsea 1-0, Lynn Park cross, ride out header in 95, later on in that game, Barry Horn could have like just sealed it with a 2-0 win. He got the ball played across the area, like just outside the 6-yard box, just had to slot it in and just placed it wide. It was such a bad miss.
I need to watch this.
Never ever see it anywhere.
Mikel Madar missed one as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
He missed at Anfield, and it was a real like.
Oh God, yeah.
2 yards out or something. Yeah, I think it was a draw, but it was like that was one of the ones I always refer back to when we talk about that horrendous record at Anfield. That was always one that stuck in my mind when he missed it. It was like back post. I think it might have been the Annie Road end. And he just.
Stuart Barlow in
the
derby when Ronnie Rosenthal scored the winner as well.
Ooh, what was that?
When Ronnie Rosenthal scored.
Oh, the Rosenthal miss is probably top of the list, isn't it?
Oh, that is. Yes, speaking of which, yeah.
No, the one I was going to go to, I hope it doesn't deter anybody from carrying on listening, but it was Shevchenko's in that final.
Oh God!
That's not even. Do you know what they'll? Oh, Jersey won it for us. No. That wasn't even a save. It was not a save. It was hit at him.
Yeah.
And I'm not joking. It defied gravity and all sorts of other scientific things. It was just. It makes me cry when I watch that. You know.
Shevchenko being shit is a hill I'm prepared to die on. He's shit. Just based on that alone. Yeah, fucking rubbish.
Oh, behave, Les. No. Aside from that, and when he was at Chelsea, he's a world-class striker.
One thing to do, fucking rubbish. Right, next.
He's just shite. That's why he missed. Shevchenko's just shite. It wasn't Jersey Dudek. It was Shevchenko is just shite.
Yeah, that's it.
He missed his pen as well, didn't he, the cunt?
Well, exactly. Fucking rubbish. Absolutely. You had two things to do. Fucking both of them rubbish. Right, Laura, what's your skincare routine, lads?
What's a what?
What's your
skincare routine?
What's a step-by-step run through?
I don't really have one. I do use the occasional E45 cream, like on my head, because I shave my head, occasionally get like little ingrowing hairs on my head. To make sure my scalp stays nice and fresh, use a bit of E45 cream. I've actually got a bit of thankfully the shadow is covering it up at the moment, but I've got a little bit of a Rudolph happening here. But I invest in the occasional black face mask thing that you peel off.
They're always nice, aren't they? Sit in the back, one of them on. Lovely stuff.
Yeah.
I love the way you're saying you haven't got much to say about this, Pete, and you're still going on about it.
I've got loads more, to be fair.
No, I use this is a terrible thing to say. Well, there's a couple of things really. Like baby shower, the baby stuff in you using the bath.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I use that obviously before I get in the shower, and I get a tiny bit of it. Just give it a nice little rub around my forehead and the rest of my face and all that. And these days, started having more and more beards these days as I get older, and I've used it as well as like some beard stuff. As I throw beard cream.
Oh yeah.
And just in and around that, mate. It just obviously doesn't affect the actual hair itself, but when I do feel it on my face there, it's like it's really, really soft. And the other thing as well, I use talcum powder a lot to not specifically to put it on and look like I'm a clown walking out the house, but it just softens everything before you put on what you want. You know what I mean? So I do that on my feet and on my legs, and it's
just like in Friends when Ross had to get the leather pants on. It's just
that's it. Yeah.
When you're trying to get your leathers on, Dave. Is this what it is?
He started using cream for that. If you remember properly,
I used to have an Action Man figure that had a Frogman suit, but it was a proper rubber Frogman suit. Maybe it was an Action Man gimp suit. I just didn't realise. Anyway,
I'll let you know. I've got that somewhere in the house. I'll let you know. With talcum powder is big. Talcum powder is a lovely thing, especially if you're not like getting your shower to go out. If you do it in the evening, and then you go into bed after it, mate. So you put a bit of talcum powder on you, mate. You wake up feeling absolutely spectacular.
Nice clean sheets as well.
Oh, mate, yeah, it's beautiful. It is. I mean, our lady listeners there don't have to laughing at me here. Or the male ones, you know. I'm the one who probably had laugh. I don't know what I'm talking about. Carry on.
Right, okay. Yeah. Mine disappointingly is like Sainsbury's own like face wash and moisturiser. But I will defer to Sam on this because she has changed my skincare routine now. So CeraVe cleanser as the vitamin C serum, little eye cream, and a big old pot of general CeraVe moisturiser, which lasts for about 6 months. Sam, I am all over that.
How far do you have to go here?
Mate, I'm approaching 50. So
is she saying you put it on and you don't have to do it again for 6 months?
No, the tub of cream lasts 6 months.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
So there you go. That's what I'll be doing. Question from Sam as well. What's your favourite sandwich?
Oh, that's a tough one, that, you know.
Do you know what, right? This is going to sound, like those type of thing where if you're not feeling great and you've got like a favourite thing. One of my favourite sandwiches in the world is dead simple. Red Leicester and cucumber. Don't know what it is. Just love it.
Red Leicester. Mate, how do you eat cucumber anyway?
Red Leicester and cucumber. With Warburton's toasty bread. Red Leicester and cucumber sandwich. Bit of butter. Love it. But other than that, you've got to go for like ham and turkey with like loads of salad. And like if you go to a proper butty shop, that's what I'll get.
No.
Just like get make the most of it. Like,
well, listen, I mean, I think you'd have to extend this question a little bit. Like, let's say Subway. You go in for the Subway. What do you get at Subway? Like my this is why I'm going to say my favourite sandwich. I have two at Subway, of which I'd choose the BMT, which is probably the bog standard one that most people go to.
Italian,
yeah. I get that. Loads and loads of red onion on it, and then I get Southwest sauce on it.
Southwest is the one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. And it's quite tingy, isn't it?
Hot chili for me.
Oh, well, yeah, I think you're particular. What sandwich are you saying with that? Not a BMT.
Yeah, hot chili on it.
Oh, hot chili. It's not called that. It's what's it called? It's what's that? What's the name instead of chili that they have in there? Begins with an S. Anyway, listeners will tell us. That's it. Yeah, they say that it's that instead of chili, but it's basically chili. Just trying to say a nice name. I think our dogs are after one now. Anyway, and the other one I go for is a meatball.
Meatball,
yeah. With the sauce on it.
Marinara.
Yeah, well, that's it, the marinara. And some of the decent ones, like we've got one up the road from ours there, and it doesn't put it in the bottle, do you know what I mean? A lot of them put a load of the marinara in a bottle so you can have it sprayed onto whatever you're having. Whereas most, you just have to have it with the balls, and that's it. Do you know what I mean? But to go back to the initial question, which isn't as complicated, I love having a bag of crisps on the bread.
Yeah.
Oh, crisp butty.
So I go what you said there about like turkey, ham. It doesn't really matter what the meat is. Then I'd have my tomatoes and just a layer of like cheese and onion crisps. And honestly, I think that's absolutely glorious. That
cheese and onion crisps on white bread, elite.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Would you have cream? Would you have cream? Would you have butter on it though?
I hate butter. Don't have butter on it.
Do you really?
Yeah.
See, I'll put my salad cream. I love salad cream on it, as you know, as Laura probably. Yeah, let's go away from that because it's like from about a year ago, but people still kick off with me and salad cream.
Not about to hang up. Go on.
Strictly not crisp, but frazzles on white bread would recommend. And for me, corned beef and Piccalilli.
Oh, BLT, by the way, is the answer. Yeah. Just, BLT.
Oh, just bacon.
Not one the lettuce. No, bin the lettuce. Just B.
Bin the tomato as well.
Just BT.
Do you have any
BT, yeah.
What, the BT, yeah. What sauce do you have on your bacon butty?
Well, if I'm having a BLT, it's got to be mayonnaise, hasn't it?
Oh, mayonnaise with a BLT.
Yeah. Going on the
brown sauce.
The bacon butty you're on about here,
yeah. Yeah, just bacon.
Well, again, controversial choice here. But firstly, I can't have any ounce of fat on me bacon. Because if it is, I'll throw it up or just throw it up.
Not even crisped up.
I like it crisped up. But sauce-wise, I'm going a bit of both, mate. I like a bit of red and a bit of brown.
Jesus. That's quite the heady combo, that.
Yeah, I never have said that.
Never saw that coming, like.
Do you know, obviously, well, I bang on about this a lot now because obviously we went to Las Vegas to get married, and whenever you've been in the States, the bacon over there is just different.
Oh, it's just crispy, isn't it?
It's crispy, and you can get big piles of it, and like you go to the breakfast bars in the hotel, and there's piles and piles of it, and obviously pure grease. You can't even put your hands on it because it's that greasy where your hands are. And I prefer that. And going back to Subway, the bacon you can get on that, you can get a full bacon with the breakfast, or you can get those other bacons that they kick off about if you ask for them in the breakfasts. Now, I'd rather have that bacon on it than anything else. Normal bacon, unless it's really crispy with no fat on it, then I have to go a different way. But like you said there, Les, get a nice bit of crispy bacon. And also, I suppose I wouldn't have a butty, I'd have toast instead.
Oh, no. Not for me.
You got a flat butty, yeah.
Yeah. We'll move on from the sandwich chat. Enjoyed that though.
Might go get one, to be honest.
I'm starving now.
I know.
Got 8 minutes left in this half, so we'll go to another one from TWS. One of 80 in a thread. He's looking at some tables here, which are Premier League have tweeted out which club are you most impressed by. So home and away form. Everton's home form 17th. Everton's away form 6th. So his question is, little callback to last week, why isn't everything all right at home?
Well, we're about to find out again even more, aren't we? Because we need to survive.
What's the drama? But yeah, we'll dig into this question. What's the difference? Is it just the bad start? The fact that we have 2 games that we fucked basically start of the season? Or
controversy again, mate. I think it does. I think it's us as fans who've not put the pressure on, but I had an argument about this, and I think I referred to this on one of our pods in the week gone by against who did we play last? Brighton. When we were playing Brighton, I spoke to a couple of fans who were absolutely fuming about the way we played. And again, me and Pete, well, all three of us have had this conversation about possession. Yeah. And these fellas were absolutely just irate about us not attacking enough with the possession of the ball. And I was saying to them, well, you know, if we'd have won that game, which we probably should have, given the goal that we conceded at the end,
yeah,
would you still be saying exactly what you're saying? And they said, yeah. They said, even if we won that game, I'm paying to go and see Everton play well. So I'm saying, really? If you want to see us play well, you'd sacrifice that at the price of us actually winning a game. And they said, yeah.
Oh, and man, they must love it.
So they're obviously fuming when they're there, though, Les. They're obviously fuming. And where I sit, where my season ticket is where they usually have the TV studios and up in the corner.
Is that where you are?
Yeah. I'm not far. I'm not actually that far from you, is it?
No, you're about 200 yards. Well, no, about 50 yards from me.
You're saying that like we're miles away. But yeah, so I'm sat there, and I have a lot of older people around me who I'm good friends with. Like, they come in and, you know, with the Everton mints and all that, they treat me like a baby. But anyway, in and around me, and they're really quiet. And that's the other part of the studio the stadium that has an issue is how quiet it gets at times.
Yeah,
I think that's an issue, and it takes us to a point where there's either controversy or there's either, you know, a foul that hasn't been given, or, you know, if we have a couple of shots on goal and there's a bit of momentum, that's when Goodison's at its loudest. When that doesn't happen, Goodison is quiet, and that's part of it to me. And I think so far this season, I just basically think we've played crap at home, and away from home there's pressure off because there's not a full crowd of Evertonians kicking off if we're playing crap. Look what we did at Palace, look what we did at Brentford, look what we did at West Ham. We did all that, but away from home because it doesn't feel like the shackles are on.
Do you think then that any of that is the way we feel we need to play? Because if we played like we do away from home, at home, I'm fine with that. If we sit back and counter attack, I don't care. I'm fine.
I never thought that'd be an Everton. Sorry, Peter, I know you want to give your view here, but I don't think that it's a hard thing to take. I think if you're a manager, and I think Dice is probably one of the best we've got for this, but if you're a manager that is like, I don't know, like a Martinez, go back, or a Silva, where you're thinking the only way they want Everton to play is this particular style where it looks really good, you get the ball, you're trying to roll it around fast. I'd never thought I'd say Everton are a decent counter-attacking side. I wouldn't say it last season. I probably wouldn't say it at the start of this season, but it seems to be the thing that we fell into now, where you've got Dom up front there, you've got Decore who tries to stick around him and all that. And like I say, it's a bit more, there's something a bit more complex about it than simply saying, oh, we hoof the ball forward.
Yeah,
it tends to go to a couple of wingers. You've got Harrison there. You know, I think that's why we've got into a little bit of a groove with this.
The perfect Everton goal for me is we win it in midfield, we pass it out to the winger runs down the line, he crosses it, he head it in.
Correct.
Yeah. That's very much conducive of counter-attacking football. That's what you do, isn't it?
Yeah.
You pick the play up, out quickly, you get it back in the box and you score. What do you reckon, Pete?
Well, I think in terms of how it looks on paper, I think it's slightly skewed by the fact we didn't have a proper centre forward for the opening few games.
Yeah.
So I think if we have a settled side, if we had McNeil, Harrison, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin playing in the game against Fulham and in the game against Wolves, I think we win those two games easily.
We didn't have any of them, did we?
No. So, you know, yeah. I look at that and think, well, if we replayed those games now with the side that we've got now, we win those easily. But Dave's made a really good point there, and also you made a really good point on 5 Live earlier, Les, because I listened to it before and I was like cheering. So make sure everyone listens to that if you get a chance. And when you said about this thing with the points deduction might actually play right into our hands, because you know we talked. I'm sure you've all covered this earlier on, but in terms of galvanising the squad and getting the fans on board and getting everyone fighting in one direction for once, I think this could be the turning point that turns Goodison into an absolute bear pit again, and I can't wait. I really can't, because from now till the end of the season, whatever happens, it's us against the world, isn't it? Let's have it. Let's do it. Dogs of war, every one of us. None of this sat in. Yeah, I don't want to be sat in the main stand for the rest of the season like I have done for the past however long, where I'm the only one singing. I want everyone to do it.
Do you know what though? It's lovely to go to any of the women's games with Pete. I've no idea why he still has a voice after it and what he does. There's always a drum there. I come away with me ears ringing for a couple of days. It's absolutely worth going sitting by him in terms of atmosphere and what he does. Obviously at Walton, I've never been to an away game. It's definitely on my list to do so in the new year, but yeah, I'm not selling this as an advert, but I'd encourage anyone to go along to Everton women's game there in Walton Park, as there's some atmosphere there now.
Do you know what's that funny as well, Dave? Dave tried to have a conversation with me after the whistle went, and I felt that bad because I helped to run the singing section, so we just don't stop for the whole game. We've got that's the other thing that does my head in about Goodison. We don't have any songs for the players. Literally for Everton women, we've got the minimum we've got for any one player is 2. Some of them have got 5 or 6 songs just for that single player. So we can just go through them for the whole game.
Yeah.
And it creates a boss atmosphere. And it really depresses me that we don't have that same attitude with the men's team where we have a song for everyone and we just go through them. Because it just, apart from anything else, keeps you going. Dave tried to speak to me the other day.
Sorry,
and
we've got less than a minute. We will pick this back up in the second half. Okay, so hold that thought. We'll be right back in the second half. We are back. Hope you got some wonderful adverts there and nothing too smutty to reflect your search history. Just before we went into the break, we talked to Pete about songs at Walton Hall Park. Pick that back up.
Sorry, I was going to say, see, that's where you're lacking things as a presenter, Les. You just pick one of us rather than just sit there with a can of ale saying, whatever.
Pete,
he's joking. It's an ideal time to give a plug as well, because Les is going to start presenting a little bit more, aren't you, with us?
Yeah, I'm going to do another show. So, I'll be in touch with people about that.
Yeah, just like one person at a time, the way he said that there, not actually put an advert out. Anyway, so sitting next to Pete there, he sits I don't know. It's not in the middle, is it? It's in the corner of the stand. Obviously a great view of it because you can't have a bad one there, can you? Going around Walton Park, but yeah, and you can spot him a mile off because you can just hear him screaming, and I don't know, kids are about to come and sit where he is, and then they walk away when they hear how loud he's shouting. The whole team that's there, just brilliant what they do all game long, and like I said, come away with it with your ears ringing, but it creates an atmosphere which the players definitely reflect on.
Yeah, the players love it. I've obviously through, on our channel in particular, I've been able to interview a number of players, and they always talk about it. They always talk about the atmosphere. It's one of the things that the manager always mentions every time. It's one of the things that the commentators always mention. It's one of the things that the press always mention when they talk about Walton Hall Park is the atmosphere, and it's great. It's grown as well. We've made a real effort with the supporters club. Every member of the supporters club, we've all got together and everyone's put effort in to try and get the atmosphere going. And
also lovely people as well, Peter. I haven't met anybody, just everybody's lovely, and I'd encourage anybody who wants to get involved in going to games more. They're the people I go and sit by straight away because you'll make a mate within about 30 seconds, even though your ears will be falling off.
Well, that's it. As long as you don't try and talk to us during the game, like Dave did, you know what I mean?
That's how antisocial Pete is there.
Dave didn't realise that literally by trying to have a conversation with me, he was destroying the atmosphere of Walton Hall Park.
The only chance I could speak is when the ball went out for a throw in for 5 seconds, and that's about it.
I don't think I even stopped then, to be fair. There was a couple of injured. There was a couple of times where players went down not injured, but wanted to just break the play up a bit, and I think we carried on singing then as well, didn't we?
Well, in relation to the Blue Room as well, I often say to Peter, "You're doing a podcast with me on Monday," and he'll go, "Yeah, but my voice is nearly gone." I'm thinking, I'll have to leave him a couple of days.
This is why the post-match things, I used to do I do a quick post-match after the women's games.
Yeah.
I physically can't do it because one, I have to go and get all the flags down because we've got all flags up behind the goal. So I have to go and sort that. But also, by the end of the game, I can't talk. My voice is just completely gone. So sometimes I'll think I'll do it when I get home. But then I get home, and once my voice settles down, I've got nothing for 3 days. So
you know what I've just realised there? and Les, I hope you've picked this up. But obviously, this goes on to YouTube, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Obviously, you got behind each other a bit, yeah. So yours is
That's my
yours
view.
in Goodison there, Les. Have you noticed Pete's there?
Yeah.
So that's exactly where he stands every single game.
But it's a reversed image, so it's looking the other way, if that makes sense. But it's
yeah. It's like you've got your back to the pitch, isn't it? But that's it. That's the standard. And do you know what, we mention it, and I think it's important we go on a little bit about this before we go back to the fun questions and that. But honestly, I'd implore anybody to go to those games, not just because like people are saying, oh, we need to increase it, which we do and all that. But it feels natural to me going to a Pete as much as anything else, really, because when you get there, it's a proper Everton type of stuff. And what's boss about the players as well? After every game, win, lose or draw, they come to the side of the pitch there where he's sitting in front of, and will stay as long as they want. You want photos, you want things signed, and it inspires youngsters as well. I think it's absolutely brilliant round there, and again, I'd implore anybody to get along to it.
Just don't try and collar them when they're trying to get off for half time.
And none of these signs either. Not even not these stupid signs, these cardboard cutout signs. They can get chipped off. You can get a photo and a signature. Don't be asking for shit.
Yeah.
You only get I'm surprised.
I'm surprised we haven't had a question on that stuff. Well, and it happens. I don't know. Well, we sort of do know why, but you see it at like Stamford Bridge so much. Every single time they focus on the fans, and there'll always be some kid there with, "Can I have your autograph?" Fucking Cole Palmer now,
it's horrible.
Yeah, it is.
I'm glad to say my kids have never done that, and I wouldn't let them.
Only for your name.
Question. Robert.
I want me dad.
LGK, otherwise known as Liam. For those of us a tad too young to have seen Nevin as Pomp, unlucky lads, can we no longer argue Nigel Martin is the best Everton keeper since, given how boss Pickford has been for at nearly 3 years? So basically, what are we saying? Pickford, second best ever? Definitely is for me.
Yeah, I think I'd say that. I mean, Nigel Martin was superb, by the way. He was absolutely incredible, and it's such a shame we didn't get him the first time round.
Exactly. Had we signed him when we should have signed him?
Yeah, there would have been more of a debate, but I think Nigel Martin, especially when he got injured towards the end and that kind of like finished his career, I thought Nigel Martin was absolutely superb. But again, Pickford's had the longevity, hasn't he? And he's done it over a longer period of time, and he's been fantastic.
Yeah, I think for me as well. He obviously he had that period where he lost his marbles a bit, usually up at Newcastle, but he would be dead erratic. Interesting interview with Aaron Ramsdale. We'll come on to him in a minute. Did you see that where he said he can't concentrate for 20 minutes? Very much where Pickford was. Yeah. I think he definitely couldn't concentrate, and build a statue of it by all means at the new ground. But I think that tackle on Van Dijk was the best thing that happened to him, because it.
You can tell our dogs are copites moaning at you for saying that.
No, but, do you know what? It was. I think career-wise, it was the best thing that happened for him, because he got the sort of support he needed to
Yeah, I agree.
Make him more professional as a footballer, not just some kid who wants to get the rave on and could be a bit erratic. What happened after that was disgraceful, by the way, never gets talked about. The threats that he got and the abuse that he got. And
also Les on that
sidelines that it's easy to forget because it was during COVID, so none of it seems real. We went at the ground. He had a spell on the sidelines. Ancelotti got his head together, and he has come out the other side of that as a phenomenal goalkeeper. He's brilliant. And
well, the thing. Well, sorry, I was going to say that. Well, the thing is with him, seeing him at Palace, what used to be considered a bit of a joke, and obviously a criticism from not only our fans but most others, notably Newcastle fans, was, I think initially he was seen as a bit of a joke when he started flipping it with defenders and on set pieces and whatnot. If they're making a mistake defensively. I think if you see how much he's grown on that now, say for instance, compare his first or second game whilst in goal for us at Newcastle to now. Yeah. You see him there at Crystal Palace. and he screams at the back four. He's screaming at anybody on a set piece if they're not marking somebody, if they have a chance, if they don't do something particularly well. I thought at the weekend, actually, ironically, he was doing it with Branthwaite quite a bit in sort of screaming and what position to be in and all that. That obviously doesn't reflect how he played, but that's what he's doing. And I think you see the team reflect on that. You see him considered somebody who's vocally, obviously one of the top players. He'd probably get it. If others were injured, he'd probably get the captain's armband.
Well, I was disappointed when he got that taken off him, to be honest.
Yeah,
because,
yeah.
He is. A goalkeeper captain's not for everybody. It's like a striker captain. It's a bit weird having it at one end.
It's a positional thing as well, isn't it? You're right.
You want it in the middle.
Yeah,
but he's 100% captain material. He's as you say, people also look at that cynically when he's shouting at the back four like it's showboating and stuff, but it's not. It's what a good goalkeeper does. You look at Peter Schmeichel. Christ, if Peter Schmeichel could have thrown one in his own net and he'd blame Steve Bruce, that's the way it went. And that's how it should be, because that's what keepers do.
Well, no, you're right, and that's what I've seen the maturity with him, and the thing that has made me laugh is people saying, Ramsdale needs to get in ahead of them and be the England number one. I'm not particularly arsed about international football. It's not my cup of tea whatsoever to see how people care about England, and obviously there's a lot of people who listen to now do love international football, and everyone's happy watching a World Cup or Euros because it takes over the summer, so it doesn't dry out as long as it does before you get back to normal games, the Premier League stuff in August. But him now, I'm completely. This will be a kiss of death now against when we play Man United next. But he's got to be one of the most trustworthy keepers that we've had. Look, Nev. You can't even include Nev on any conversation really, because he can't be compared to anybody. No. But I think that's a good shout with against Martin and against Paul Gerrard. And the other one we haven't mentioned, and I think personally I had severe hatred for the fella, with Tim Howard.
Oh.
What?
Most overrated goalkeeper in the history.
I'm glad you said that. I thought you just said boss.
No, I'm with you.
Still not on. The thing that completely cut it for me, and it was probably a long time after others just wanted them out, was that effort at trying to save Lampard's shot in the FA Cup final is one of the worst things I've ever seen, because Lampard, it's probably to his own admission, if you went and asked him, particularly when he was at Everton, that goal you scored against Everton in the FA Cup, did you think that was going to go in when you hit it? Absolutely not. He doesn't even dive properly. It's like he's walking across goal, gets two hands to it. It's a sickening goal.
That was Tim Howard as pomp as well, that.
Yeah. Well, look, Tim Howard, I clocked him straight away, like when we first signed him. If you look at the amount of goals he conceded from outside the box, and a lot of it was that we were actually defending really. We had really good defenders. We had, Phil Jagielka, Joleon Lescott in front of him, Leighton Baines, Seamus Coleman in his prime. We had a really solid back four, but we tended to concede so many goals from distance because we weren't giving up that many chances within the area. So I actually kind of thought, even when you look at his clean sheets and all that sort of thing, I always thought that the records were massively skewed. And as I say, I've never seen a goalkeeper concede so many from outside the box in my life. And again, a lot of that was probably to do with his footwork and just generally not being able to track a ball that goes anywhere above 2 foot in the air.
Well, Martinez actually started dropping him, and I was like, do you know what? He's finally got it here. Who was it he put on after that?
Joel Robles.
Joel was in, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah, Robles, sorry. Yeah, he started getting the third one.
Number one. How fucking go.
The thing with Tim Howard
playing goal again.
The best save Tim Howard probably ever made.
Don't say Southampton.
As a result of him nearly getting lobbed from the edge of the 6-yard box.
Yeah.
Which in itself
Southampton.
Some doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Southampton. Yeah.
Exactly. Great save, but how did it get to that point anyway?
He shouldn't have to make it in the first place.
Yeah. That's it. It felt like you couldn't share him because you're like, you caused it yourself, you bellend.
Yeah, it was...
his positioning was horrendous, by the way.
Yeah, it was.
That's why he had to make that save, because his positioning was awful. But yeah.
Well, the thing is,
thanks for all the appearances.
Well, last note on that though, he came from United, didn't he, when Ferguson was still there, and almost immediately, I know come on loan for the first time, almost immediately he was in goal when Big Doug scored that goal that got us into the top 4. Well,
Doug
just before
wiped them out at one point, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly, and he battered Ferdinand when that ball comes in, and there's a great commentary piece there from Tyler, wasn't there, when that goes in. But we got him in, and you know for a fact if any decent club is letting go of a keeper quite comfortably, you know you're settling for something that isn't good enough for what you need.
Yeah,
and that's exactly what he was.
That's the classic story of United transfers, really, isn't it?
Yeah, Mark Bosnich and who else they've been? Obviously, he just got rid of the Hayed as well. He used to have to make mistakes a lot, didn't he? But you look at
Taibbi was one, wasn't he? Didn't he signed him?
Maximo Taibbi, didn't he? Bought didn't he?
He was, and then Fabian Barthez was a bit dodgy at first.
Oh, Barthez, I forgot about him. But Van der Sar is probably the best keeper they've had since Schmeichel.
Well, that was it, because they kept going out trying to buy goalkeepers to replace Schmeichel. And then they realised that all the ones they were getting were just totally unproven in the Premier League. So you had, like I say, Taibbi, Bosnich, Barthez. Barthez was all right, but again, he was erratic, wasn't he? But then it was Van der Sar who came in and
it was amazing at 39, 40.
The mad thing about Van der Sar is that he was actually at Fulham first.
For years, though?
Yeah, no, it's mad.
Yeah.
Really mad. Bramley Toffee Apple said, is Aaron Ramsdale's family the biggest group of crybabies ever? This is going back to what we said before. And do you think Jordan Pickford's nan had a word with Ancelotti when he dropped him? I don't think so. I just think Ancelotti was great and handled it perfectly.
I think he did, yeah. I think it was important for him to do what he did. He started swapping him around, and the mad thing was that the press were all saying about him being dropped. And it wasn't. He was trying to take the pressure off him. And obviously he needed to get his head right. And I think that little break of a couple of weeks has probably put him in good stead for the rest of his career. So Ancelotti, you can't question that, man, in terms of man management. I think he was spot on.
100%. I agree.
As for Ramsdale, Aaron Ramsdale just got 8th in the Ballon d'Or goalkeepers or whatever it's called. Don't know what it's called.
The Yashin Trophy, innit?
That's the one. So Aaron Ramsdale got 8th. The lad, he's not even Arsenal's number 1.
No more from the Saudi League, got 3rd.
What's that? Say again.
So in the Yashin Trophy, Ramsdale got 8th. Someone from the Saudi League got 3rd. And I mean, people might not like to hear this, but it's true. Alisson didn't even get in the top 10.
Really?
That's pathetic. That is ridiculous. You know.
Did Edison get in it anyway?
I don't know, but the fact that Alisson
top 5, wasn't he? That Onana clown who United have signed, another crap goalkeeper, he was in there as well, wasn't he? He was like 4th.
No way.
I will never understand why United just never went balls out to get Pickford.
Yeah, I am really surprised that no one's gone near him. And do you know what? I actually can't believe. I mean, how long's he been with us now? 8 years?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, 2016. So 8 years, going on to 9 years. We've had that lad. And I don't think I've ever seen, or it might just be in the smallest of circumstances, seen anybody linked with going to buy him. It's really, really weird. I'm really thankful that never happened. But I'd have thought, like you say, I mean, when he signed a 6-year deal, which is a couple of years ago, I was like, wow, that just didn't seem right for me. And obviously, with being an Evertonian, I was delighted. But I didn't think, given the situations we've been in, he can't be playing for us thinking, yeah, we'll go and get a trophy soon. Do you know what I mean?
We're going to win one in February, Dave. Don't worry about it.
Oh, God.
There's a loyalty there from that. I don't know if it is a genuine loyalty or not, or whether he just suits where he is, his family like it, whatever it is. But it's astonishing that he still does, I think.
Yeah, it is. Mike has asked, can we have a Tony Campari flag for Newcastle at home? Set up the GoFundMe now. Count me in. It does amaze me. The
Azul Media Corps are undefeated.
The catchment area is unreal, isn't it?
Yeah,
insane. We'll finish on a really a really pressing topic. One from Chris, Stephen, David, and Warren and Foxy. I'll get to yours next week, lads. But we're going to finish on this from Chris. Greg's have just released a spicy veg curry bake. What else do you think would work well encased in pastry? Anything. for me.
Yeah,
Great
right
answer.
Anything.
Anything, yeah.
No. There are things.
I had a festive bake from Greg's the other day, and I feel terrible because it's November.
But did you like it?
Oh, it was lovely.
Thank you. See, you've stole what I was going to say there. The festive bake out of Greg's is outstanding because it's got a tiny bit of cranberry sauce in it, and it doesn't make it sweet. It's just the right amount in there.
It is perfect.
Yeah. But you know, I like cheese pasties, cheese onion pasties. Bizarrely, I don't like the chicken pasties, just not for me at all. Like, so like there's a Greg's. I seem like I live in the middle of where all sorts of scrans are, but there's a Greg's up the road from ours. Probably tell where I live. Greg's up the road by ours, and my missus, she absolutely loves it. And I'm like, I've got to be particular in what I have. So cheese and onion pasties, the odd sausage roll. But we are at the time of year now, Les, where we've got them festive bakes.
Yeah.
And they are absolutely stunning. I'd implore anybody to go on. And you know what? The actual pasty front of it as well. It's a little crusty thing on it. It's lovely.
Yeah, it's got like little crispy bits on it, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like it's been cooked just a tiny bit too hard. And it's got this like little crispy bits on top. It's stunning. I wish it was Christmas every day.
So by us, right, we've got a Sayers. Do you remember when Sayers changed the logo?
Sayers is the best. Sayers is the
sausage
best.
rolls.
No, it's not. When Sayers started doing
sausage rolls, piss on Greg's sausage rolls. You do.
100%.
You still go there though?
But
this
Sayers by us, right? Do you remember when Sayers changed the logo from like blue and orange to like a fancy sort of burgundy and gold?
Yeah, and it looks like it's being signed by somebody.
Yeah, the Sayers by us are still got the blue and orange logo.
People must think that's a black one then.
It's belter.
It is
class. Yeah,
what did you think as well? The one thing, just quickly, what did you think of sausage and bean?
It's all right. It's okay.
The problem it comes with, it's, you know, when you get a pasty, you just want to eat it then. It's not like you're going to wait to take it home or whatever. So when you eat one of them, mate, I've never ate anything or put something on my tongue that is hot. I know you'll burn your eyes as well. Burn your tongue, mate. Outrageous. And I know it just throwing it at me head. No wonder it's red hot, nearly blinding me.
Yeah, it's the only thing that's probably hotter than the pastry at Goodison.
Yeah, the sun, yeah.
Yeah, the pastries at Goodison are way too hot.
Yeah.
The trick is to get it on the way in, eat it at half time.
Yeah. Good shout.
Or get it at half time and eat it on your way home.
Could you get away? Could you get away with, you know, you're talking about these festive pie or festive slices. Could you get away with like incorporating some kind of Yorkshire pudding in there as well?
Oh no.
Because I love Yorkshire pudding with everything. Do you know what I mean?
I'm
like
not a fan of Yorkshire pudding.
I did see
Yorkshire puddings, little bit of potato.
I did see something on Instagram the other day where someone like had a pastry case, basically lashed a whole roast dinner in it.
Yeah.
You could lash a Yorkshire pudding on the top of that.
Yeah.
I reckon.
They're fucking.
There's a place in town that does Yorkshire pudding wraps.
Need to try that. Never had one.
Giant Yorkshire pudding, and then they use that to make the wrap, and they're meant to be amazing. And they give you a little pot of gravy to dip in as well.
Oh my god! Right, just a little bit off this. Went to KFC in New Ferry the other night, and they had no gravy. It wasn't even on the menu. I was livid.
On the menu?
No, it wasn't.
That stunned we didn't speak.
Couldn't choose gravy. Fuming.
Did they have chicken?
I'm just about to think, yeah.
The reason I never have gravy with anything from KFC. I always get the barbecue beans. I just get shitloads of them.
Have you ever had the gravy, Dave?
No.
Oh, Dave.
Come on.
Is it nice?
It's unreal.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, but what do you have it with? Why would you get gravy with anything you buy from there?
Chips or the chicken? Oh, mate, honest. You wait till you've tried this gravy, Dave.
Well, mate, you know what I'm going to say here, don't you? You know what I'm going to say. There's one round the corner from ours.
Go and get
do it.
Right, go now.
How serious his eyes went then.
Do it now. Honestly, right? That's it.
You know what I'm on about there, though, Pete. It's on East Prescott Road, which is around the corner from mine.
Come and drop me one off as well. Bring extra gravy.
One bit of
Pint of
controversy
gravy.
though, I've no
Like
idea
Alex.
what Yorkshire puddings are all about. Don't get it.
Oh, come on now.
Send the gravy packets to me because our KFCs clearly don't do them. Right, that's it. That's it for this week, lads. As I said before, everyone else, I didn't get your question in this week. I will get them in next week. Thanks to Pete for filling in. Good luck to Dan again. Thanks to Dave. And yeah, we'll catch you next time on Mailbag.